giant. You could never worry me cause I'm a titan. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Never giving up, I keep on fighting. You could never bully me cause I'm a giant. You could never worry me cause I'm a titan. Straight up, straight up, straight up. I ain't never fucking with the haters, man. I'ma keep on moving, power up just like it's Gatorade. You ain't got the money, broke jokers fade away. In it for the stock, goddamn, I made a K today. Outer space, I should really be an astronaut. Flying with the stars, smoking on the moon, so pass the blunt. Snakes hiding in the grass, pulling out the lawnmower. Expose your whole motive, notice that it's all over. Andrew got the keys, Arthur got the keys. Rich is in this bitch, and we smoking on some trees. Yeah, we lounging. You know that we gon' conquer mountains. And we gon' get this money with my brothers. And if you hating on the click, you suckers. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Never giving up, I keep on fighting. You could never bully me cause I'm a giant. You could never worry me cause I'm a titan. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Never giving up, I keep on fighting. You could never bully me cause I'm a giant. You could never worry me cause I'm a titan. Straight up, straight up, straight up. I see your vision strictly diminished. The system dividing the mission. You ain't got permission from the coalition. You a rat, but I took you for a dog type. Thought you was down for the cause, but you lost sight. Eye for an eye, but now the haters blindfolded. You can't think for yourself because your mind's stolen. You can't speak for yourself because your lies choking. Now you can't see for yourself because your eyes closing. I don't hear, I don't speak, I don't see no evil. Because I'm good with myself and I will love the people. And you ain't good with yourself, that's why I call you weasel. But when you look in the mirror, you think that we are equal. I'm trying to give you insight, but it's never working. I just pray one day you'll be a better person. I'm just trying to give you insight, it's never working. I just pray one day you'll be a better person. Never giving up, I keep on fighting. You could never bully me cause I'm a giant. You could never worry me cause I'm a titan. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Never giving up, I keep on fighting. You could never bully me cause I'm a giant. You could never worry me cause I'm a titan. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Straight up, straight up, straight up.
It's pretty funny because pretty sure yesterday I brought you guys this full alert on Canopy Growth after I told you guys that they did record revenue of $83.1 million. I mean, it's true. And they're up 4% right now. And what else you guys want to look at right now? VYST. Oh, we'll get into their financials. Don't you worry. We'll dig deep. Don't you worry. VYST. So this bad boy just keeps going up every day. So we're going to talk about it, you know. I heard somebody contacted one of our members and was like, oh, Rich just wants to talk about shrimp. He just wants to talk about pump and dumps and BCCI. He just wants to talk about pump and dumps. All Rich wants to talk about is pump and dumps, man. Pump and dumps, man. That rich guy, he just wants to talk about pump and dumps, man. I'm like, yo, man, do you even watch the show? Do you even watch the show? I mean, don't we talk about everything? I talk about what the people want to talk about. So I don't understand the hate, man. I don't get all the hate. What is with the hate? Like, what kind of world are we in? All Rich talks about is pump and dumps, man. Pump and dumps, man. It's pump and dumps. Man, those pump and dumps. Yo, G, new song, bro. Pump and dumps. That's it. This is how the songs get created, eh? Just like this. I'm texting it right now. I'm not kidding. Just like that. People ask me dumb things. They say things. I'm just like, yeah. Pump and dumps, eh? So, Canopy Growth is a pump and dump? Because that's all I talked about yesterday. and Aurora Cannabis is a pump and dump, because that's all I talked about the day before. You guys give me a pick that's up 20% VYST, and it's been going up every day. I'm going to talk about it. That's just the way it goes. Okay? That's just the way it goes. SHMP, natural shrimp. Let's talk about it. The pump and dump, man. Yo, Rich, man. Why you always talk about the pump and dump, man? Natural shrimp's a pump and dump. Is it a pump and dump? Let's take a look at how much of a pump and dump. Let's take a look at the statistics. Because numbers don't lie, but people do, eh? Numbers don't lie, but people do. Numbers don't lie, but people do all the time. It's like, did you watch the show for a minute? Or did you watch the show for a second? Because you probably didn't watch the show, because we talk about everything. Look, we're gonna talk about Google. Let's talk about Google, because they're on my list. Yo, Rich, man. All you talk about is pump and dumps, man. Let's talk about Google. It's down slightly, 0.50%. Exciting. At $1,116.06. Let's go buy Google. It's in the red. Apple. Let's get excited. Yo, Rich, man, all you do is talk about pump and dumps, man. Oh, my God. It's a crazy life we live, eh? We live in a world where there's internet trolls. They actually are internet trolls. Their lives are dedicated to going on the internet and creating multiple accounts and just talking trash. That is what their lives are dedicated to. They are called internet trolls. The 2019 internet troll. That's what they're called. So I just wanted to make you guys aware of what I deal with on a day-to-day, because you guys don't know what it's like to be me, man. Yo, Rich, bro. All you do is talk about pump and dumps, man. That's all you do, man. Let's talk about Tesla. You guys want to talk about these stocks? Or you guys want to get back to the cannabis stocks? Should we get back to the cannabis stocks? Tesla up 1% at $306. Let's get back to, yo, Rich, man. All you do is talk about pump and dumps, man. Let's talk about shrimp. Since it's at 34.8. Let's see. How much of a pump and dump is it? Let's take a look. I don't know if you guys are looking to buy shrimp. I'm just watching it. It's interesting the way it's consolidating. I have not been compensated by shrimp. I do not know this company. I'm not being paid to talk about this. I'm just talking about it because it's very intriguing to me. Because when a stock goes up 10,000%, I think we should be paying attention to it. Whether I buy it or not is not the question. It's just I want to see it and watch it because it's different. Something about it. Either it's going to keep going up or it's going to get halted. This has a lot of power, okay? Now, obviously, it's come back down from a higher high of like 84 cents and it's now down to 34. But look at this. It's still up 7,000% since October. So it was 16,000%. So obviously, clearly, any shorter, anyone that's involved in the company is thinking about selling because, wow, they went to 94 cents. They went as high as 94 cents. So that was a huge opportunity for people to unload paper. That's what this is, guys. It's a game, man. Financial institutions, investors, insiders, hedge funds, short traders, they're all in. And they see this stock go up 16,000%. And they're like, okay, everyone's talking about shrimp now. Let's short the shit out of it. That's how it goes, man. Yo, Rich, man, all you do is talk about pump and dumps, man. Well, it's still up 7,000%. So, you know, I don't know. let's get back into some of the other stocks that we want to talk about today. So, Canopy Growth quarterly revenue surges to 83 million as gross margin declines. Canopy Growth Corporation reports third quarter fiscal 2019 financial results. Gross sales of 98 million. That's pretty huge. Net revenue hits record 83 million. Wow. Let's just give that a clap. Yeah. Yeah. Cannabis shipments totaled 10,102 kilograms and kilogram equivalents. Net income of 74.9 million, including changes in fair value of financial liabilities, included in other income. So Canopy does this news and the stock goes up pre-market. Everybody's excited. It's like pre-market, everything's green. Everything's green. Everyone's excited. Pre-market, everything's green. Everything's green. Everything's green. So obviously, clearly it goes up after this good news that the revenues are pretty substantial. They're record revenues. So we have a little bump here. This was last night. I was telling you guys it's probably going to go up. And boom, there it is. It's up 4%. So we don't just bring you the news. We analyze the stocks. We talk about it before it explodes. Sometimes people are like, yo, Rich, man, why are you talking about a stock after it explodes, man? Why don't you talk about a stock before it explodes? I'm like, well, do you watch the show? Do you watch the show? I've been talking about Canopy Growth for 2 years. It was at $5. I've been talking about Aurora since it was under $2. I talked about Kronos Group since it was at $2. I've been talking about Afria since it was at $2. I've been talking about Organogram since it was at $1. I mean, some of these comments are just like, wow, really? Really? I watch all of these stocks climb, man. Every one of them. And the ones that haven't climbed, they got a ton of money in the bank and they're going to have their move. And if they do not climb, and I'm talking about the Oxleys and the Hips and the Vivos, if they don't climb, they're going to be acquired. I promise you that. Okay. ISOL, yeah, you know, I know you guys are asking about ISOL. I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan. Any company that does a reverse on the shareholders isn't really doing what's best for the shareholders. The CEO's fiduciary responsibility as a CEO of a publicly traded company is to build shareholder equity. That is the CEO's fiduciary responsibility as a CEO of a publicly traded company, is to build shareholder equity and to create shareholder value. Not to reverse the stock on your shareholders. That's the last thing that you should do. Why would you ever reverse a stock on your shareholders? No, ISOL did a reverse split. And then once the reverse split was over, the shares went down. I believe they reversed to $4. And if you look at them now, they're at like $1 or something. So clearly it's been a huge failure. No, man, I just want to bring you guys the truth, man. Yo, Rich, man, all you do is talk about pump and dumps, man. Show me these pump and dumps, because this is the stocks I've been talking about for years. I want to really figure out where people are calling Canopy Growth a pump and dump, because I've been talking about them since January 2017. You can check the statistics, look at the videos when I called them LeBron James. Look, they're at $7 at this point. At this point, I had already purchased them at $5. Should have just held them. But, you know, that's another story for another day. But yeah, right here is when we started talking about them. when they were at like $7, and now they're at $47. Now that's $7 in America. Let's take a look at the Canadian one. So I'm pretty sure they were at $5 when we started first. Was it 5? $9. Wow. So it was at $9 in Canada when I first started talking to everybody about it. I bought it at first at $5. Yo, Rich, all you do is talk about pump and dumps, man. Oh, yeah? Okay, and then ACB, Aurora Cannabis. Let's talk about where they started. They started down here. Look, it's even marked. $2.19. January 2nd. Right there. $2.10. And obviously we've seen them go as high as $15 multiple times. 13, 14, 15. That's where it seems to get resistance. So that's the next resistance that we want to see it break, right? At some point it's going to test that resistance. Right now, Aurora's kind of trading, you know, in the middle, right? Like if you take a look at the 3-month chart, it's been interesting. It's been as high as like every time it gets to like 11, it gets resistance and it comes down. That's why I sold at 1077. And it didn't get much higher than that because I already knew that that's where it sees resistance. This is the last 3 months. So you know it's going to get resistance at this price for whatever reason. There's a lot of people that want to sell at that price. So people are like, you know, when are you going to buy Aurora? I'm like, I don't know. Like, will it go back and test these ranges here? $8, $6, $7. These are the ranges that I'm wondering if it's going to be testing. And if it tests down here at these ranges, this is where we want to pick it up. 676. That's where I'd want to buy it. If I could. I mean, it's at 945. So if I was going to put a bid right where I want it, if I could have like a dream position, it'd be right here. Right? Because that's where it's been, you know, not too long ago. January 8th, it was at this price. 667. So if we can get in at that price again, glory. Just pure glory. But I mean, Canopy Growth, like she's left the building, right? Like she's left the building. Like it's so high already. $63 in Canada. It's crazy. Like she left the building. October 23rd, 2017 is when she really left the building. Went from $12 all the way now to $63. Unbelievable. It is LeBron James. LeBron James is the NBA, has been the NBA for a long time. He's like the one-man show, right? He's like a freak. Canopy Growth is LeBron James to the cannabis sector, what LeBron James is to the NBA. OMSH is up 38%. Let's take a look at OMSH. Oh, you talk about Rich's pump and dumps, man. OMSH. Is it a pump and dump? Is it a pump and dump? That is the question of the day. I don't want to just talk about pump and dumps, guys. All right? Let's talk about real business, real companies. This is a pump and dump awake? Wow. OMSH is up 38%. Take the money and run always, man. But sometimes you never know, man. Sometimes you get out too soon, and then you wish you could have your stock back. A lot of these cannabis stocks have done really, really well. If you've invested in the good companies, you've done very well with your trading on cannabis stocks. The smaller companies have been actually the bad spot to go. It's better to go to the mid caps. The mid caps perform very, very well. The Kronos Groups, the Afrias, the Auroras, the Canopy Growths, the Tilrays, they've all performed extremely well. The Sea Webs, the True Leaves, the Acreage Holdings, Village Farms, even Suniva, they're all up, right? T-God is one of the ones that's still down from its IPO price, so they will explode. Mark my words, they will explode. SOS, they will explode. Same with MedMan. MedMan will explode too. You got to understand, these guys are going to have their turns. They're either going to explode or be acquired. That's what's going to happen. Well, for the good companies, if you held them, you would have done extremely well. Extremely well. If you look back at the charts of Aurora, Organogram, Kronos Group, Canopy Growth, Afria, all of them are up. Every single one of them. Canna Royalty, CanTrust, Village Farms, Suniva. Every single one of these companies is up. Every single one of them. So, I mean, that's why we focus on the cannabis sector. It is very volatile. The prices are completely out of control. But at the end of the day, they are what they are. They are what they are. And Kronos Group has been a massive success. Like, massive success. Like, when I see it at $28.71, I don't even want to believe it. Because I know this company has little to no revenue right now. So, it's crazy. But they have $1 billion partner. And sometimes that's all you need. $1 billion partner sometimes is all you need. You know, you don't need much more than that at times. And I think Kronos Group is an example of that. I mean, Kronos Group's chart is so sexy. Let's take a look at it. Like, look at that. That is a hell of a 2-year run. What a run. January 2017, from $1.26 to $28.64. And they're actually listed on bar chart as one of the bar chart top 100. Kronos Group, just so you guys know. So they're one of the top 100 best stocks on bar chart. It's just ridiculous. Like, their chart is just ridiculous. Like, it's as good as it gets. It's a beautiful chart. Beautiful chart. Look at this. Up 64% in the last month. 175% in the last 3 months. And 329% in the last year. You kidding me? That's just ridiculous. I don't know. What do you guys think? Kronos Group is just a thing of beauty. OSHM is up 40% now. Wow. These shrimp stocks, guys. These shrimp stocks, they might be pump and dumps, but they're pumping. They might be pump and dumps. We don't know. But they pumping. They pumping hard. They pumping hard. Omni Shrimp. Look at this bad boy go. Look at this. Look at this bad boy go. It's just climbing. The 1-day chart is pretty spectacular. Look at that. Let's mark that right there. Let's see if it goes up from here. So currently at 2 cents, Omni Shrimp. If you are looking at a momentum trade, this company seems to have a lot of momentum, but you don't want to have FOMO, you don't want to panic, and you don't want to chase stocks, right? So be careful. Robin Hood Warrior says, I think they are pump and dumps. Yeah, they might be pump and dumps. But those pump and dumps are making a lot of people money. So I feel like it's our responsibility to talk about all the stocks. And I definitely like to talk about the stocks that have momentum. And they're going to go up and down, and they're going to be very highly volatile and very risky. But I think it's important for us to talk about stocks that have momentum, because nobody wants to sit there and talk about a stock that goes up 1% or down 1% every day. It's kind of boring. But, when you take a look at Afria, up 5%, these are the types of stocks that have a lot of movement that people want to talk about. But it's not that exciting, right? Like the cannabis stocks right now, they're up, but they're not up huge right now. They were up nicely, but they start to come back down. We had a huge, if you want to call it, pump in the market right here, an explosion all the way up, and then it's come all the way back down. It went to 655, and right now it's back down to like 640. So it went up on all this great news from Canopy Growth, and now it's starting to come back down. So buyer beware, don't chase green, buy in the red, sell in the green. But we are green. Look at this. Pretty much all across the board. We are green. It's fighting to stay green. Look at this. The cannabis sector is all green across the board. Afria up 5%. LHS up 4%. CGC up almost 5%. Kron up 3%. Namaste up 2.97%. Hexo up slightly 1.8%, and TGOD up 1.3%. And TGOD now at 378 is finally over their IPO price, which was around 360. Do I think that Aurora will drop $1? I think it could. Yeah, I believe Bruce was supposed to be on BNN this morning. Speaking of that, let's get into these financials. So, Canopy Growth Corporation reports third quarter fiscal 2019 financial results. Gross sales of $98 million, net revenue hits $83 million. Cannabis shipments totaled 10,102 kilograms and kilogram equivalents. Net income of $74.9 million, including changes in fair values of financial liabilities, including other income. Closed the previously announced $5 billion investment by Constellation Brands Inc. and began putting that capital to work for shareholders with key acquisitions of Storz and Bickel and the assets of ebbu Inc. Wow. Beast mode. Beast mode. Beast mode. Expanded to new markets, including the United Kingdom, love it, and Peru, and announced intention to establish operations in New York State. Hello, New York State. Marking the company's entry into the U.S. hemp market. Intellectual property portfolio grew to 32 issued patents and over 140 patent applications covering a range of target areas from technology to genetics to clinical formulations. This is the best part about this whole company. They've only been in business for 4 years, okay? They're from Smiths Falls, Ontario, small little town in Ontario, and they've become the LeBron James of cannabis stocks. Canopy Growth Corporation, weed in Canada, the best symbol ever. Should have had weed in America too. CGC in America today released its consolidated financial results for the third quarter fiscal 2019, ended December 31st, 2018. All financial information in this press release is reported in Canadian dollars unless otherwise indicated. Third quarter fiscal 2019 operational and financial highlights. Net revenue in millions, $83 million for Q3 2019. In Q3 2018, they had $21.7 million. A change of 282%. Let's just take some time to just Give them a round of applause. Yeah, I think that was a mistake. They should have taken weed. Weed was the symbol. Weed was the symbol. Weed was definitely the symbol. You know, some people are like, you know, Aurora is red. You know, why is Aurora red? I need you guys to understand that Aurora and Canopy are in a fight. It's like, I don't know. It's like a fight to get to the top, kind of like what LeBron is doing with Michael Jordan. How LeBron keeps saying he's chasing the GOAT. And MJ saying it's no competition. There's no chase. You can't chase this. And they're both trying to be the best. It's the same thing with Canopy Growth and Aurora Cannabis. They're both trying to be the best. So when Canopy Growth reports revenues that dwarf Aurora's, this is substantially larger than Aurora's revenue, okay? When they report revenues that dwarf Aurora's, what do you think is going to happen? Aurora's going to get a hit because people will take money out of Aurora and say, you know what, I'm going to invest in Canopy because I think Canopy's better than Aurora. They're making more money than Aurora. It's a very natural thing for people to say because it's the truth. However, if you look at Aurora long term and you see that they're in 23 countries and you see all the partnerships they have and you see all the relationships they have, you might be able to read between the lines and say, okay, well, Canopy Growth has already exploded. Aurora might be the better buying opportunity because it's only at $9.43. So, yeah, maybe right now today, Canopy is making more money than Aurora, and that's why they're trading at $63 in Canada. But which one is the better buying opportunity? I'd love to know what you guys think. If you guys like this video, smash the like button. Comment down below. If you want us to stay live, guys, please smash the like button, okay? Let's get those likes up. If you want us to stay live, smash the like button. Comment down below. Share this video everywhere. Remember, if I win and you win, we all win. What I want to do is I want to create an environment here where we can all talk about stocks that we think are good buying opportunities. And when is to buy and when is the time to sell. And which ones we believe are undervalued, underappreciated, and underexposed. We can talk about any stock here. You want to talk about Google? You want to talk about a gold stock? You want to talk about a lithium stock? You want to talk about a gaming stock? We can talk about them all. Yesterday, we reported that Canopy beat the earnings estimates. The way the market works is when companies beat earning estimates, the stock usually goes up. So I'm not surprised that Canopy's up today 4%. In fact, I predicted it if you watch my shows from yesterday. However, current results and past results are not an indication of future results. These companies are trading on future earnings. That's why they're trading so high. Canopy Growth has a third of the shares issued and outstanding that Aurora does. Because of that, Aurora is going to most likely trade at a lower price because they got 3 times the amount of shares. So technically, if you times Aurora's price by 3, it gives you a price of around $30, $27 to $30, which is roughly half of the price of Canopy Growth. So this is how I kind of look at these companies and how I gauge these companies when you're looking at their market cap. Because remember, the way you calculate a company's market cap is by putting together their price and their shares issued and outstanding. And that's how you come up with the company's market cap. Some companies' market caps are skewed because they have too many shares. So they have a market cap that isn't justified. That is the biggest problem and issue that people have with Aurora Cannabis. Are they right? Time will tell. But they've used those shares to acquire partners like Canamed, MedRelief, and ICC. 3 public companies that were all trading and were all growing and flourishing are all part of Aurora Cannabis now. But Aurora doesn't have $5 billion cash like Canopy Growth does, which is why we see Canopy Growth here trading at $63. Now, assuming that Aurora gets that partnership, I wouldn't be surprised to see Aurora explode. George Murphy says, I think ACB is a steal in comparison to weed right now. I think you're getting more bang for your buck for sure. But based on the fact that we see Canopy producing so well, you just never know. You know, like I don't see any reason why Canopy Growth doesn't hit $100. You know, you heard it here first. Canopy Growth will hit $100 at some point. Weed in Canada at $63.51 right now, at some point will hit $100. Right? And I believe that one day Aurora Cannabis will hit $100. But it might take 5 or 10 years. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. They're going to have to hit milestones. They're going to have to keep breaking those records. They're going to have to keep breaking those revenue records and setting new heights and setting new standards for the industry. And that's what's happening right now. Canopy Growth Corporation is a trailblazer. They're a trailblazer. Kilograms and kilogram equivalents sold. 334% change. Wow. So in Q3 2019, they had 10,102 kilograms sold. And in Q3 2018, they had 2,330 kilograms, 30,000 kilograms sold. So they've had an increase and a change of 334% in 1 year. If this company continues to have this growth, the sky's the limit. See you on the moon. Average selling price per gram recreational, $6.96. Average selling price per gram Canadian medical, $9.77. So do you see the disparity there between medical cannabis sold and recreational cannabis sold? Wow. Average selling price per gram international medical, $13.28. So they're making way more when they're doing business internationally. That might be the way to go. That might just be the way to go. That might just be the way to go. Internationally. Look at the international players because they're going to have more revenue on the books. And guess who's the biggest international play? Who's the biggest international play? And who has a facility at the airport? Aurora Cannabis. And this is why I believe that Aurora Cannabis is uniquely positioned to be a global giant. But I believe that Canopy Growth will be right there beside them. So this is very interesting to see these numbers and just to really learn what the market is doing and selling for. Canadian recreational cannabis gross revenue business to business, $60.1 million. Canadian recreational cannabis gross revenue business to consumer, $11.5 million. So Canadian recreational cannabis revenue total, $71.6 million. Canadian medical cannabis gross revenue, $15.9 million. International medical cannabis gross revenue, $2.7 million. Medical revenue subtotal, $18.6 million. Other revenue, $7.5 million. Total gross revenue, $97.7 million, less excise tax of $14.7 million, which leaves them with a net revenue of $83 million. That's the breakdown right there. That's the breakdown right there. And then they're explaining the product sales, kilograms and kilograms equivalents. Management commentary. Our successful first quarter, full quarter, our successful first full quarter with recreational sales in Canada reinforces our long-held strategy of making meaningful investments early in order to secure market share. They want to be first movers. They want to be the first movers, guys, said Bruce Linton, chairman and CEO, co-CEO, Canopy Growth. With a strong cash position, we added strategic assets and IP through acquisitions to accelerate the sophistication of our inputs with ebbu and with our consumer-facing outputs with Storz and Bickel. The Canadian recreational cannabis market will be dominated in the long term by business delivering excellent products and consumer experiences. 100% agree. And pricing. Sales from the first wave of products and retail environment launched in the third quarter demonstrate that we are capturing consumers' attention. Interesting. We have developed an unprecedented, unparalleled, fully integrated platform at scale and will continue to expand by making strategic production investments in regions with federally permissible paths to market for our cannabis and hemp offerings. We believe this strategy will develop a significant and sustained return on invested capital over the long term. This is Bruce Linton, chairman, co-CEO, Canopy Growth. Product and production summary. Oils, including the company's soft gel capsules, accounted for 33% of product revenue. Reported net revenue, excluding other revenue, in the 3 months ended December 31st, 2018, up from 23% of product revenue in the same period last year, demonstrating an increased demand for value-added formats. During the third quarter of fiscal 2019, approximately 30% and 42% of recreational and medical sales, respectively, were comprised of oils, including soft gel capsules. To position Canopy Growth to supply the significant quantities of cannabis oil that the company expects will be required to meet the needs of future value-added products, including vape pens and beverages, the company took steps during the quarter to augment its own current and planned extraction capacity by entering into extraction supply-related agreements with Valens Growworks Corp., Medifam Labs Corp., and POS Holdings Inc. POS Holdings. Ooh, I love me some Medifarm Labs. In addition, during the quarter, the company completed the terms of a financing-related agreement with POS Holdings to lock in dedicated extraction support to Canopy Growth. In the transition from a medical marijuana business to a business producing clinically proven cannabinoid therapies, the company experienced a decline in its Canadian medical market demand in the quarter. The decline may be attributed to the initial adjustment to the available legal recreational market, which patients can also access. A decline? A decline? In the transition from a medical marijuana business to business producing clinically proven cannabinoid therapies, the company experienced a decline in its Canadian medical market demand in the quarter. The decline may be attributed to the initial adjustment to the available legal recreational market, which patients can also access. So I think what's happening is people are saying, we're not going to go medically, we're just going to go recreationally because it's cheaper. Remember what we saw. It was more expensive to buy medical cannabis than it was to buy recreational cannabis. Because of that, people are going to go recreationally. I mean, it just makes sense. Additionally, medical revenues reflected a migration to a tighter medical product range, as well as elevating and refocusing Spectrum Cannabis to a more pure medical pharma-focused brand proposition. International medical revenues in the 3 months ended December 31st, 2018, consisting primarily of sales in Germany, increased by 170% over the same quarter in the prior year to 2.7 million. Other revenue for the quarter was 7.5 million, coming from partner clinic revenue, merchandise sales, and device sales by the company's wholly owned subsidiary, Storz Bickel, following the close of its acquisition on December 6, 2018. Canadian regulated adult use market cannabis sales. The company placed significant focus on shipping core products, backed by deep inventory levels, into physical retail store networks across the country. In the face of strong product demand and overall sector supply shortages, the inventory levels have served to improve the availability of the company's products on retail store shelves. Also, at the end of the quarter, the company began shipping value-added soft gel capsules and pre-rolled joint products in recreational channels across the country. I predict they're going to make a lot of money on pre-rolls. Lots. Because people are lazy. And people will buy the pre-rolls. They'll buy the pre-rolls. They will. Canadian regulated adult use market retail footprint. Canopy Growth finalized its acquisition of Haiku during the second quarter, adding the Tokyo Smoke retail channel to complement its Tweed banner stores. 2 huge brands, okay? Huge. Which you can see here in Vancouver. Offering 2 distinct customer experiences will allow the company to appeal to various consumer demographics without saturating any single segment. This is huge. This is what is needed. And this is why Canopy Growth is LeBron James. Canopy Growth is a monster. I'm telling you guys. Tokyo Smoke operates 4 corporate-owned retail cannabis stores and an e-commerce platform in Manitoba. Tweed Retail now has 10 corporate-owned locations selling cannabis across Newfoundland and Labrador and Manitoba, plus a licensed store in Saskatchewan and an e-commerce presence in Manitoba and Nunavut. The company plans to add in provinces with private retail models, 20 additional Tweed stores, and 20 additional Tokyo Smoke stores. So that's an additional 40 stores, people. In the province of Ontario, the company is exploring partnership opportunities to ensure consumers in that market can experience the distinct Tweed and Tokyo Smoke retail experiences while working within the provincial framework. Wow. This is big. Canopy Growth. Canopy Growth is making waves. They are making moves. And they are right now the leader. And they hold the record for the most revenue of any cannabis company right now that's public in the world right now that I know of. If there's anyone else that's doing better than 83 million a quarter that's public, please let me know. Please. You know? You guys want to call Canopy Growth Jordan? Should I change them from from LeBron to Jordan? I don't know. Maybe Aurora is Jordan. I'm leaving that open for Aurora. I don't know. Someone might come out of the woodworks that we don't even know. Like, look at Tilray. Like, Tilray is still the highest priced out of all of these bad boys. $76 for this crazy freak. Like, this is like the Greek freak. Like, just, what is this? Like, what is Tilray doing? Like, what is exactly Tilray trying to do? Like, why is Tilray so crazy? Like, it's so crazy that we can't even buy it. It's just too high to buy. $76, just sitting at $76, chilling. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, I want to know about Even Co. Tell me, what do you know about Even Co? Please share. Third quarter fiscal 2019 gross margin summary for Canopy Growth Corp. The company is in the final stages of completing its Canadian production and extraction platform. The cost of sales include the impact of operating costs of cannabis cultivation subsidiaries not fully commissioned, including our Delta greenhouse and a number of zones at the Aldergrove greenhouse facility, both going through fit-ups, as well as Edmonton and Fredericton, also in construction during the winter. Vert Mirabel also initiated its first pilot plant grow cycle, which combined with the other non-producing assets to result in high non-reoccurring overheads. Cost of sales also included costs associated with developing edible and beverage products, for which markets will be available later in calendar 2019. Excluding the costs associated with these non-cultivating subsidiaries, totaling approximately $13.1 million and absorbing medical excise tax of $2.1 million in order to ease the burden imposed on the patients, the gross margin before the fair value impact in cost of sales and other inventory charges would have been $33.5 million or 40% of sales. Gross margin was also impacted by lower average recreational business-to-business prices as compared to historic direct-to-consumer medical sales. Now, this is my concern. Recreational prices will have to continue to go down because as there's more and more competition in the marketplace, people are going to search for lower pricing. And if they're searching for lower pricing, they're clearly going to go to someone cheaper. And if you're going to try to charge $7 a gram and someone on the street is charging $5 or $4 a gram, which is what they're charging, how are you going to compete? Greenhouse facilities operate in zones. Aldergrove, which is here in my backyard, Delta, which is here in my backyard, here in Vancouver, and Mirabel have planted in a manner that allows for ongoing harvests, rather than one large harvest to increase the utilization of assets, such as post-harvest processes, and provide for a steady supply of product going forward. The Aldergrove greenhouse began its third harvest earlier in the current quarter, and the Delta facility is expected to begin its next harvest later in the current quarter. These guys are just going to explode. The company believes gross margins will expand in the coming quarters when all of its cultivation facilities reach full utilization and cycle through initial pilot harvests to be high-performing assets. In addition, margins are expected to expand when edibles and beverages are introduced later in calendar 2019 with lower costs of active ingredients per serving. Wow. Wow. See, this is the problem here. Their operating expenses were $169 million. Guys, if you like this, smash the like button, comment down below, share this video everywhere. If you want me to keep going and keep talking about this and keep live, please smash the like button, okay? It helps us to get noticed, for people to find us, see us, and join us, okay? People need to know and analyze these financials and understand what's really going on with this company. So let's break it down. December 31st, 2018. Sales and marketing was $44 million. That's big. It was only $9 million last year at this time. Wow. Research and development, $5.2 million. And the sales and marketing is 54%, which is $44 million, was 54% of their net revenue. So that's a very high number. And their research and development was 6% of their net revenue. General and administrative costs were $46 million in the quarter, up, wow, which is 55% of their net revenue. Acquisitions and related costs were 5% of their net revenue. Share-based compensation expense. So they compensated individuals and consultants and insiders with shares and employees, which totaled $63 million. This is why companies go public. You can use the paper, stock, as collateral, as cash, as a tool, as a resource. This is why they go public. That was 77% of their net revenue that they paid out in stock, in paper, in imaginary money. Depreciation and amortization, 6% of net revenue. So this is the problem that I see. They're spending way too much money. They're spending way too much money. Way too much money. Way too much money, man. Way too much money. Sorry, awake all you nations. Maybe you can email me, richtvlive@gmail.com, and I can even do a video on it, and I'll give you a shout out and everything. If you guys ever have any news you want me to talk about, just email me, richtvlive@gmail.com, the article with your name, and I'll give you a shout out. I'd love to, and give you some clout, and hopefully give you some subscribers and help you grow your platform. For me, this is win-win-win, man. If you win and I win, we all win. I just want to break this down so you guys understand what's happening here. So far, for the 9 months ended, for the year, Canopy Growth spent $101 million on sales and marketing, $7.9 million on research and development, $102 million on general and administrative. Wow, that's a big number. $9.6 million in acquisition-related costs. See, I'd like to see that number higher. And $189 million in share-based compensation expense. Now, if that was being used to acquire their growth, I wouldn't mind. But if that's just going to pay people, these numbers are really high. $11.6 million in depreciation and amortization. Wow. Let's try to break this down here. Yeah, Canopy is stuffing their pockets. All the insiders are getting really rich. Businesses built on top quality products and customer service require upfront investment. Management believes foundational investment is required to build the company's significant and diversified production platform, flexible distribution capability, world-leading brands, retail capabilities, medical and recreational sales, and customer support capabilities. Canopy Growth also requires robust information technology infrastructure, international business development, and operations. These investments directly impact profitability in the quarter, but represent prudent long-term investments to strengthen the company's global leadership position. Both sales and marketing and general and administrative expenses were up significantly relative to the same period last year. Management expects these expenses to level off in the near term in its Canadian operations. I hope so. I hope so. Yes. CGC and ACB are spending like drunken sailors, but ACB is spending on growth. I believe that Canopy is pulling out a lot of money themselves. All the insiders are getting paid. Legally. Yeah, they got so much cash. They won't have to use stock to grow their business. They got cash. You're right, James. You're 100% correct. The company's applied science team is researching a variety of intellectual property opportunities, including those related to growth patterns under different environmental scenarios and the genetics of various strains. The development of patent-pending technology related to equipment that the company has engineered specifically for the cannabis industry to be incorporated in Canopy Growth's operations and ongoing R&D. Work being performed in the company's dealer license area that is expected to lead to the development of new cannabis-based product form factors that will enter the market when permitted. With the acquisition of Canopy Health Innovations, the additional scope of R&D being undertaken and additional resourcing necessary, R&D expenses were up significantly over the same period last year. Applied science expenses will continue to increase as the company aggressively pursues IP. Advancing scientific understanding through plant science, technological applications, and clinical trials is the fastest path to developing sustainable, high-margin products. They're trying to stay ahead of the game, and they're spending a lot of money on research and development. So that in the future is going to bode very well, but it's costing them a lot of money right now. It's costing them a lot of money right now. Acquisition-related expenses in the third quarter period, ended December 31st, 2018, were primarily related to the acquisitions of the assets of ebbu Inc. and Storz Bickel, and the financing of POS Holdings. In addition, costs were incurred due to the ongoing evaluation of potential acquisitions performed during the period and increased legal, accounting, and strategic business consulting services required to complete or evaluate the transactions. Okay, that makes sense. I get that. The company is likely to acquire additional strategic assets in the future as it pursues its business strategy, which is global domination. Elizabeth says she doesn't feel comfortable holding ACB. Her cost average is around 8. Is that in Canada or America? Because if your cost average in Canada is about 8, I think you'll be fine. Check this out. In respect of the record stock compensation expense, in practice, all employees of the company receive stock options as part of their compensation package. Acquisition-related milestone payments based on future performance and related criteria have been treated as stock compensation expense instead of being allocated to the purchase price. So that's why that's showing as an expense on their balance sheet. That's a lot of money that they're paying their insiders, which means those are insiders that have cash and they can just go out there and buy the stock. I mean, that might be why this stock is so strong. These guys have just got like hundreds of millions of dollars now, and they can just go out and buy the stock. Sit on the bid, support the stock. It's crazy. It's never ending. It's never ending with these guys. They have so much money. All their people have money. I remember Bruce Litton months ago, maybe even a year ago, saying the thing that he's the most proudest of is that all of his directors are millionaires. Well, at this pace, all of his directors will become billionaires because they're just making money hand over fist. Third quarter fiscal 2019 adjusted EBITDA summary, non-GAAP measure. Adjusted EBITDA in the third quarter fiscal 2019 amounted to a loss of $75.1 million compared to a loss of $5.7 million in the same period last year. Year-to-date adjusted EBITDA amounted to a loss of $69 million compared to a loss of $14.4 million in the same period last year. Interesting. Losses are mounting. The adjusted EBITDA is reconciled and explained in the management discussion and analysis under adjusted EBITDA non-GAAP measure, a copy of which will be filed on SEDAR and EDGAR after financial markets close today. Interesting. The adjusted EBITDA is reconciled in a table elsewhere in the press release. Third quarter fiscal year 2019 and other income and net earnings summary. Wow. This just keeps going. This baby just keeps going. Let's take a look at the markets. How is everything responding to this news today? Wow, ISOL is tanking. ACB is down slightly. Everything else is green. HIP is the same. So, excuse me, we had early gains. Looks like we're giving them back now. It's a Friday. I'm not really surprised. Usually on Fridays, we're going to have a little bit of red. Let's see if we're still green. Yeah, we're still green in North America, slightly, as you can see. We are still green in the cannabis sector overall. So, I'd love to know what you guys think, guys. Please, guys, comment down below, smash the like button, share this video everywhere, and if you guys have some winners that I need to look at, please let me know. If there's anything that's breaking out, please let me know. We try to bring you the winners. We try to evaluate them. We try to explain them so you understand exactly what's happening. And I want you guys to know exactly what is happening here for Canopy Growth, okay? Because there are some good things here, but there's also a lot of expenses, okay? And in order for this company to really get where we want them to go, to like $100 plus, they're going to have to reduce those expenses and increase their profits. Because right now they're still spending more money than they're making, and that is still an issue. Okay? Third quarter fiscal year 2019, other income and net earnings summary. Other income of $235 million for the 3 months ended December 31st, 2018 was primarily made up of fair value changes on financial assets and financial liabilities. The amount includes a fair value gain of $185.8 million arising from the decrease in the fair value of the senior convertible notes from the end of the second quarter to the end of the third quarter, and a fair value gain of $36.4 million on financial assets, principally the TerraSend and Slang warrants. Okay, so they got some revenue coming in from there. The company also had interest income of $18.6 million on cash and marketable securities. That's positive. This income was partly offset by a loss of $6.3 million as a result of the TerraSend restructuring, which resulted in the exchange of the TerraSend shares and warrants for the non-voting, non-participating, exchangeable shares. The company recorded an income tax expense of $1 million for the 3 months ended December 31st, 2018. In the comparative period last year, the company recorded income tax expense of $7.6 million. Well, that's one advantage of having losses, less tax. Net income for the 3 months ended December 31st, 2018 was $74.9 million compared to net income of $11 million in the comparative period last year. Other income of $63.5 million for the 9 months ended December 31st, 2018 is primarily made up of fair value changes on financial assets and financial liabilities and a gain on the acquisition of the company's unowned interest in CHI. The company recorded an income tax recovery of $1.4 million for the 9 months ended December 31st, 2018. In the comparative period last year, the company recorded income tax expense of $9.6 million. So clearly they are getting better with their taxes. Net loss for the 9 months ended December 31st, 2018 was $346.7 million compared to a net income of $227,000 in the comparable period last year. Wow, that's kind of a shocking number. A net loss for the 9 months ended December 31st, 2018 was 346.7 million. Whoa. Whoa. That's a big number. Wow. That is a big number. And let's take a look at weed in Canada. Canopy Growth Corporation, currently at $62.98, up 2.77%. And CGC in America at $47.58. Now $47.60. And it is looking like it's channeling upward. Let's see what bar chart thinks. And guys, I am building a CBD company, and we're waiting for legalization here in Canada and obviously in the United States. If you guys would like to be a part of that and you'd like to be a distributor either in Europe or the United States or in Canada once it becomes legal, just email me at richtvlive@gmail.com, and I'd love to have you guys be a part of that. Now take a look at this. This company has just been so amazing. Up 164% since April 10th, 2018, 83% since December 24th, and 17% since January 16th. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. It just does not want to stop. Canopy Growth. A 64% buy on bar chart with the strongest short-term outlook on maintaining the current direction. Long-term, the trend strength is average. Long-term indicators mostly agree with the trend. So, looks very bullish. Yeah, I think Canopy Rivers is going to be an absolute monster. Love them. Love everything about them. They got the same vision as Canopy Growth. Update on intellectual property development. During the third quarter, Canopy Animal Health, CHH, completed certain preclinical studies related to the treatment of anxiety in companion animals using CBD. In addition, CAH completed certain cannabis consumption safety trials, which produced data critical to validating the safety of cannabis-based therapeutic products for animals. Subsequent to the end of the quarter, Canopy Health Innovation began phase in human clinical trials to evaluate the use of medical cannabis in the treatment of insomnia. I think that's huge. So great. The trials are being conducted in collaboration with leading Canadian research institution. During the quarter, the company acquired the assets, including over 40 cannabis-related patent applications filed representing over 1,500 inventions of Colorado-based hemp researcher ebbu. Intellectual property and R&D advancements achieved by ebbu's team apply directly to Canopy Growth's hemp and THC-rich cannabis genetic breeding program. The company believes applying ebbu's IP has the potential to reduce the cost of CBD production. There's that word CBDs. Canopy Growth, I have a CBD business. Would love to work with you guys. Maybe we can work together. And Rich TV Live community, I would love for you guys, the membership, to get into the CBD business. And we all work together and create a global sales team of CBD distributors so you can own your own CBD company and get in now, in the beginning, at the start. The company believes applying ebbu's IP has the potential to reduce the cost of CBD production. In addition, ebbu's IP portfolio will contribute to the clinical formulations program being executed by Canopy Health Innovations. The company's intellectual property portfolio includes 32 issued patents and over 140 patent applications covering hardware, product formulation, genetics, production innovation, and medical treatments. Wow. So big. It's funny because while we're talking, Canopy Growth is going higher. See that? While we've been live, Canopy Growth is going higher. I've been marking it. $62.86. $62.86. Just mark this. Let's keep our eye on it. Let's definitely keep our eye on it. Update on branding and market activities. The company adheres to a disciplined approach to portfolio expansion as it continues to identify new market opportunities by identifying the needs that brands could satisfy for adults in the legalized cannabis market and assessing both the economic appeal of meeting these needs and their fit with the positioning of existing brands. Canopy Growth has built a portfolio of belief-led and purpose-driven brands with authentic origin stories and distinct points of view on the world, spanning both local and global provenance. It's just, these guys want global domination. The company brought Tweed, the company's core brand, to the recreational market as part of the national launch strategy. Tweed has had a long focus on building awareness through exclusive media partnerships, experiential activations, and proprietary responsibility programs like the Don't Drive High program undertaken in collaboration with Uber and Mad Canada. The focus to engage and educate consumers across the country, both pre- and post-launch, along with Tweed's retail store network, has resulted in Tweed securing aided awareness of 20% amongst cannabis consumer and intenders. In addition to its core consumer brand, Tweed Canadian adults also saw the successful recreational launch of Tokyo Smoke and Doja, as well as partner brands LBS and DNA Genetics. Man, this company's doing so many things. It just keeps getting crazier and crazier just reading all this. It reminds you of all the business these guys are doing. During the quarter, Canopy Growth also launched new and improved product offerings like oral cannabis sprays and pre-rolled joints made by our custom-built proprietary automated cannabis joint rolling machines right in the heart of our Smiths Falls headquarters. The company also unveiled its one-of-a-kind custom packaging, a unique and proprietary child-resistant airtight tin. Canopy's growth strategy approach to supply and distribution allowed the company to provide Canadian adults from coast to coast with a diverse offering of high-quality cannabis products. The company is also developing product line extensions and format-specific brands for value-added product categories, including vape, beverage, and other products that are expected to be permitted for sale in the fourth quarter of calendar 2019. Wow. These guys just keep going. They just keep going. I know, isn't it funny that CGC is in Smiths Falls? It's crazy. No, I can't play any videos that anybody else has. That's copyright. I don't do that. I only bring my own original content. Anything that's newsworthy, anything that's a press release, I can talk about it legally. Because once it's posted, it's news. So I can take this news and I can talk about it and I can record on it and I can give my opinion on it. But I'm not going to take someone else's video and play it on my show. I can't do that. That's how you get your channel banned on YouTube. Investing to capitalize on hemp and CBD product opportunities. The company has built on decades of experiences of its world-class hemp team to develop proprietary and patent-pending technological solutions to optimize the speed and efficiency of harvest, post-harvest, and storage processes required to run field-scale hemp operations. In the third quarter, Canopy's hemp division harvested thousands of acres of CBD-rich hemp genetics in Saskatchewan. Once extracted, the company expects a yield of thousands of kilograms of hemp-derived CBD. My prediction is companies that are in CBDs, like Aurora Cannabis and Canopy Growth, CWeb, TrueLeaf, all the players that are going to get Green Growth Brands, all the players that are going to get into CBDs, they're going to make billions. Billions and billions and billions. Because right now there's a war on the streets with cannabis and the prices keep going lower and lower and lower and lower. And the reality is that when you're doing that, you're getting into a really bad place. So if you're in the CBD game and there's a whole world out there looking for CBDs, then you can actually make a huge spread on your CBDs. So you don't have to really concern yourself with lowering your price on your cannabis. You can try to say, hey, we've got better cannabis, so you're going to have to pay more if you want our cannabis. And people will pay it if it's better. If it's better. But it has to be better. If it's not better, people won't pay. That's what it comes down to. If you're going to try to charge more, it has to be better. Because people will just go to the guy on the street. Unless they start cleaning up the streets. Which is possible. They could clean up the streets. Look at this. What I tell you guys. It's going up while we speak. It's going up while we speak. Wow, went as high as $66 today? That's crazy. That was a nice spike. And then it just came all the way back down. Under 63. So I think the secret is CBDs. And that's why I'm building a CBD company right now. Because everyone else is focused on cannabis. And I'm like, why? You're just going to be competing to give away cannabis for free. When you could be in the CBD space. So if you guys want to get in the CBD space, holler at your boy, richtvlive@gmail.com. We're building a huge team of CBD guys. We haven't started yet. We're waiting for everything to go legal. We're building the company. And we've got some major players behind us. And we're going to take the company public. Oh, yeah. We're taking it public. So trust me when I tell you guys, there's an opportunity of a lifetime here. And it's more than just investing in these stocks. We're getting in the game. We're getting in the game. Okay? We're getting in the game. And CBD is everywhere. I keep hearing that word, CBD. Look at this. It's crazy. Canopy Growth's hemp division harvested thousands of acres of CBD-rich hemp genetics in Saskatchewan. Once extracted, the company expects to yield thousands of kilograms of hemp-derived CBD. That is absolutely huge. In the United States, the Agricultural and Nutrition Act, H.R. 2, the Farm Bill, passed on December 20th, 2018, which I broke to you guys first. The passage of the Farm Bill, which included the language of the Hemp Farming Act of 2018, expands opportunities related to the cultivation and processing of hemp to produce CBD-based products in the United States. This is the Holy Grail, people. This is the Holy Grail. Oh, yes, I'm working with licensed people. I'm working with licensed people. Don't you guys worry. We're in the game. We in the game, man. We in the game. Deep in the game. The passage of the Farm Bill, which included the language of the Hemp Farming Act of 2018, expands opportunities related to the cultivation and processing of hemp to produce CBD-based products in the United States. On January 14, 2019, Canopy Growth announced that it had been granted a hemp processing and production license by New York State. That is so big. So big. And its commitment to invest in the state of New York to establish a hemp industrial park. The hemp industrial park will be home to large-scale production capabilities focused on hemp extraction and product manufacturing to serve the New York State market, as well as markets around the United States as permitted by regulations. You know, it's funny, Canopy Growth, if you're watching this, I have a hemp farm in New York. I would love to introduce you to them, and we can do some business. It's true. Canopy Growth intends to invest between $100 million USD and $150 million USD in its New York operations. I said, pardon? $100 million to $150 million in its New York operations. That's pretty big. Wow. I did not know that. This is why I like to read this news. Like, it's big, so big. Oh my goodness. That's so big. Canopy Growth is developing a broad portfolio of CBD product offerings. Isn't it funny? Didn't I just tell you guys that CBDs are the future? It's like they're reading my mind. They realize that CBDs is the way to go. Understand what they're doing here. To be broadly distributed across multiple channels with a view to establishing category leadership in each CBD vertical market. The company will look to leverage strategic acquisitions and partners to accelerate growth in the CBD consumer product market in the United States. Wow. Hey guys, we have a WhatsApp group. We have Facebook groups. We've got obviously a community on YouTube. We've got communities all over the world, and we're going to continue to grow, okay? If you would like to join the Telegram group, which is growing so quickly, and we're getting thousands of messages every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, talking about cannabis, talking about stocks, talking about picks, talking about real estate, talking about ways to make money, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A community of power and positivity, a community of winners, a community of great minds, a community of people working to help each other, a win-win situation where everybody has an opportunity to win. Hello? Did I not tell you guys that Canopy was going up? I mean, I don't know what to say here. I think we need to put on a full alert because they're climbing. Look at this. They're climbing. They are climbing. See that jump? I marked it, and now they're jumping. It's as if like people are watching the show and buying the stock. It makes you wonder, right? I'm talking about all these great things, and the stock keeps going up. But you remember, guys, FOMO is real. So remember, FOMO is real. Be careful. Don't just chase a stock because you heard it here first. FOMO is real. I actually have a song for this. Because FOMO is real.
SHMP, we call it forward brewer. I bet you wish you had it in your hands so that you knew us. We gon' get this money, don't be scared to get this money. Not afraid to get this money, always on my mind is money. It might slip up out your hands, but the crew is here to reinforce. Rich TV, with the picks, for the number one choice. Hey, you got some dollars, go invest that shit. Cause the fear of missing out will leave you desperate. Make some money, go and buy yourself a necklace. Or stun it out, you can cop a bigger bracelet. Whatever you do, do it like you're doing it right. Cause in the stock game, you know it's either fight or flight. Whatever you do it like you're doing it right. Cause in the stock game, you know it's either fight or flight. The FOMO's real, the FOMO's real, the FOMO's real. What? The FOMO's real, the FOMO's real, the FOMO's real. FOMO, yeah, you know the deal. If you wanna take a chance, go ahead and spin the wheel. The FOMO's real, the FOMO's real, the FOMO's real. What? The FOMO's real, the FOMO's real, the FOMO's real. FOMO, yeah, you know the deal. If you wanna take a chance, go ahead and spin the wheel. I told you follow the boy Rich, the noise sick. I'm tired of all these other stock cats, they annoying. Talking this and talking that, shit they boring. I think I'd rather listen to the phone ring. Pick up, cause the money keep on calling though. And when I'm throwing down the cash, it's like Geronimo. Chasing rainbows, I'm always down for a pot of gold. And when the stocks are calling shit, I'm like, I gotta go. If you never watch, I guess you all missing out. Never winning, I'ma keep on spending, never running out. Yeah, this the bigger route. Getting checks, we checking out. If you got some FOMO, then please never have a second doubt. FOMO stay real with me. FOMO so real. FOMO stay real with me. You know the deal.
Now remember, FOMO is real, but you got to follow the winners. So VFF, Village Farms, one that I've brought you guys a long time ago, is having a monster day today, up 8% at $9.89. Love that company. Acreage Holdings having a big day, up 6% at $20.40. Hempco Food and Fiber, HEMP, up from that dollar range. That's always a buy at dollar. At $1.10, up 5%. Kush Bottles, up 4.46%. Ianthus at $7.24, up 4%. Aleafia Health at $2.40, up 3%. Eve & Co. at 29.5 cents, up 3%. Love that company. Fire at $1.85, up 3%. Canopy Growth, up 3%. So we are starting to see some life. We are seeing some life here in the cannabis sector. And obviously, shrimp. OMSH, Omni Shrimp, having a big day today for the pump and dump lovers. Up 32% and showing a lot of momentum. But it's like almost no volume. 96,000 shares? Yeah, I wouldn't be touching that. CEI, Camber Energy, one on my list here, up 18% at 54 cents, showing a lot of strength. Let's get back to this. CFO transition. Canopy Growth's EVP and Chief Financial Officer Tim Saunders has informed the company and its board of directors. Yeah, I wouldn't be touching FSD Pharma personally, but I mean everybody's got their own goals, right? Of his decision to retire as CFO in mid to late calendar 2019, Tim will continue to serve as CFO until his successor has transitioned into the role. The search for Tim's replacement is already in process. With candidates identified, the company expects to announce his successor in the next few months. Following the transition, Tim will continue to serve the executive team and board of directors of Canopy Growth as a strategic advisor in areas of mergers and acquisitions, corporate financing, and business transformation. The board of directors, co-CEO Bruce Linton and Mark Zuckerlin, along with the whole Canopy family, thank Tim for his dedication and leadership. Having championed the financial health for the company through an aggressive phase of M&A growth, multiple financing rounds, and historic listing on the TSX and New York Stock Exchange, both firsts for cannabis companies, Tim's mark on Canopy Growth is permanent and sincerely appreciated. Wow, they gave him like a straight shout out here. The unaudited consolidated financial statements and management's discussion and analysis documents for the 3 and 6 month ended December 31st, 2018 will be filed on SEDAR after financial markets close today, February 14th, 2018, and will be available at sedar.com. All right, there's the news, guys. What do you think about this news? If you like this news, smash the like button, comment down below, share the video everywhere. If I win and you win, we all win. Canopy Growth Corp is a giant. They are the LeBron James of the cannabis sector. They are the cannabis sector right now. They are the leaders. They will continue to be. They've got more money than everybody else. They're not as big as far as partnerships and as far as countries as Aurora Cannabis. That's why they are at war with Aurora Cannabis to be number one. But right now, I would have to say that these guys, based on revenue, based on price, they have to be considered number one. Now, does that mean that Aurora can pass them in the future? Of course they can. But right now, as it stands, Canopy Growth is still number one. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? If you agree with me, please comment down below. If you like this video, like I said, smash the like button. Remember, Rich TV Live is strictly for education and entertainment purposes. Always do your due diligence. Always do your research before you invest in anything that we talk about here on our show. Thank you guys for joining me live here. Have yourselves a great weekend. Thank you guys. I love you guys. You guys are the best community in the world. If you're not winning, you're not watching. It's true. This is your boy, Rich. And I'm out. Canopy Growth. Quarterly revenue surges to $83 million as gross margin declines and the price goes up, as predicted by your boy. I'm going to leave you with a new track that we just created. This one is called Good versus Evil, because whenever you do good, there's always going to be evil. So we created this new track. Have yourselves a great weekend. And while we listen to this new track by Ill Kid, I'll just scan the markets. If you guys have any picks you want me to look at last minute, let me know.
This what happened when your friends turn into enemies.